Hello, it's me, Patricia. This is my 5th attempt at a video. And for those of you who are still following me, even though I haven't filmed in, well, at least 2 years. Wait, no, pre-COVID, so it's got to be at least 3 years now. 4 years, sorry. I used to knit. My channel used to be called The Naughty Knitter. I've now changed it to First Editions. That's because I no longer knit. If you had seen my last video I ever produced, you would know that I was starting to have neurological problems caused by my spine. I couldn't feel my fingers, couldn't knit anymore. Fast forward a little while, still couldn't knit. COVID happened. So I kind of went, what am I doing? Finally had surgery because the hospitals were finally allowing doctors to bring in non-emergency patients. And I got my spine worked on. Got my fingers back, yay. But I haven't come back to knitting, and I don't know that I will. So I tried to think up what I could do with this channel because, you know, it's there, right? And I'm a chatty Kathy. No offense to Kathys in this world, we love you. I realized that the only thing I have left that I still am pretty passionate about beyond being a photographer is books. If you were a previous follower, you also know that I was doing winemaking. Well, pre-COVID, spine started to tell me, no, you can't be doing this hard labor. It also happened to coincide with a massive drought we were having. Last summer, we were at 50% rationing, and I had to not water my grapevines. I lost all but 3. Now, when you are a functioning vineyard producing grapes every year, to go from that many grapes to none, or 3, there's not going to be any winemaking. Due to where I live, even though we didn't technically break drought, we are still on rationing even though the lake is full. I'm in California. Shasta Lake is where my water comes from, and even though Shasta Lake managed to get filled this year, it did not allow us to break drought. So, well, at least it didn't. It just didn't. So here we are. So back to books. I've always collected books. I've always been a reader since I was a small child. I always read well above my age reading level. Funny story, in the 6th grade, I helped my mother get her college level English homework done. So that was the only subject I actually excelled at, to be honest, which is a shame, but you know, it is what it is. I was an undiagnosed ADHDer because when I was a little girl, girls did not have ADHD. Only boys did. Which now, of course, they know that's BS, and boys and girls are being diagnosed with it equally now, which is good because there are things that can be done to help. I am a middle-aged, actually a little older than middle-aged adult now, and there's not much we can do. So, again, books. I have collected my books forever. when I was still doing the knitting vlog, I'd had a house fire. So not only did I lose all my yarn, but I also lost books. And I hesitated to go back to trying to collect first editions because, ouch, that was painful to lose that. You know, with the yarn, yeah, I had unique yarns that there were only one skein of them available ever. But they could still be mostly replaced. You know, people, fashion changes, color schemes change, so it was fine. Well, it wasn't fine, but I think you might understand what I'm trying to say here. But the books were not really replaceable. Not cheaply anyway, because some of the books that I lost would cost hundreds of dollars for one book to replace it. Skein of yarn is still 30 bucks. Well, sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more. But yeah, yarn is replaceable. First edition books that don't have many copies available gain in value. So there's that. I do not collect because of their value, though. I collect because I love books. I prefer a nice, sturdy, hardbound book, like this Stephen King, Dr. Sleep. It's the sequel to The Shining, and it's just amazing. If you've seen the movie and you liked the movie, read the book. It's a little different. And I think he ties up the loose ends so nicely from The Shining, which, by the way, I do not have a copy of that in first edition because, well, fire. 2, every time I try to get a copy of it, what gets sent to me isn't a first edition, 1, after they've said it was, and, well, the last time, the binding down the spine was completely cracked. Oh, sorry, I was out of frame. Down the center was completely cracked, and this fabric that kind of holds the spines of books was barely holding on, and they sent me that, saying it was in excellent condition, first edition, but it was in terrible condition. It also had water damage so bad that the backboard had swelled. But yeah, I had taken pictures of it and then called them out on it and sent it back, and they gave me a refund, so at least I got that. But I was still really disappointed, and it's not in me to try again, because if one bookseller is willing to lie like that and send me a terrible book, what's to stop any of the others? So when a copy of The Shining first edition shows up in one of my local shops, that's when I'll get it. Or if I travel and go to a bookshop that just happens to have it, I'll get it. Until then, I'll keep waiting. So yeah, this one is a first edition, says so. First Schreiber hardcover edition, September 2013. So it is what it is. If you're a Stephen King fan, you've probably already read this one anyway. But I do have more of Stephen King's, but I'm only going to show this one today. I'm not really going to talk much about what the books are about. This isn't a book review. I am not a book reviewer. I don't think it's my place to review a book. Leave that to book critics who actually have degrees in literature and that's their job to do that. I'll leave it to them. but I will say I love this book. But I pretty much love all books except for the next one. But it's not because, well, I'll explain. This is another book I got. The previous book I'd bought new. This one I got at Goodwill. I bought it because I wanted to read it. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want people to go, oh wow, you know, but because just the title alone tells you what it's about. I haven't finished this book, to be honest. I started to read it and I went, you know, I already know this. So I stopped. I will keep this book because it is a first edition. Yeah. And because it is what it is. It does have a little damage, but again, I got it at Goodwill for like $3. Hello, this is amazing condition for $3. And yeah, I didn't spend much time on it, sorry. This was a lucky score for me. My local library does what they call Friends of Shasta County Libraries monthly book sale. And I go and I pick out books, and some of them I check first to make sure they're first editions before I buy them. And some I forget to because I'm just too excited about them. This one, I was just too excited. So, because it was, you know, they've got all these books in boxes that are, you know, lined up like this. So I saw the name Leonard and went, pulled it out, saw the cover and went, oh my God, put it in my bag. Didn't even look at it a second further. So Leonard Nimoy, I've loved since I was a child. My first childhood crush was on Spock. It says $3 there, so someone must have donated it or given it to a thrift store. Thrift store did that, or secondhand bookstore, something. I don't know. I only paid $1 because that's the other thing. The books at the library book sale are always $1 unless they're children's books, which are usually 50 cents each, I think. So I went to the copyright page and holy cow, it is a first edition. I haven't read it yet. This is another one on my to read really soon list. I have quite a large to read list, to be read list, TBR. No, to be read, yeah, TBR. And I keep saying I'm really sorry. My list isn't nearly as long as I've noticed a bunch of people seem to have. I've got just enough books that I could not buy any books for 1.5 years, and then I would have them all read and I would need to buy books. I kind of feel comfortable at staying at that far ahead of myself. I know there are book people that have more books than they'll be able to read in their lifetime. And I know that's apparently, well, according to the internet, and social media, apparently that's really common. I've never had more books than I could read in my lifetime, but okay. But I'm also a fast reader. If I'm not doing anything for the day, I can read a book this size. Let's see, how many pages? Oops. My fingers still aren't real great, but they're better than they were. Yeah, 275 pages. This is a one-day read. Well, less than a day. It's just, you gotta take breaks to eat and stuff, right? But, so this one's probably gonna be read I hope to have it read before my next video so that I can actually maybe talk about what he said, what William Shatner had to say about Leonard. But it won't be a review. Absolutely not. I won't be doing that to you. But I now buy most of my books secondhand, purely because finances and books are expensive now. But I've learned a valuable lesson the last time I bought a book. Because see, this is pencil. I can erase that and it's just will be gone. There's no marks in the rest of the book. It's clean. As a matter of fact, it's so clean, I don't think whoever had it before even read it. They just bought it, put it on their shelf, and then it ended up in either a used bookstore or a thrift store. Don't know. This book, Scott Kelly's Endurance, is where I learned a valuable lesson. When I'm looking at used books, like at the library, I now open them before taking them home. Because, and I did it again, this is, another attempt at filming. And the reason I had made this attempt, okay, you can see it's been written in kind of rudely. Yeah, here we go. And the person who wrote in it, it's throughout. Well, about halfway. I don't think they finished reading it. What makes that extra disappointing for me, though, is you open it up and bam, it's a first edition. I was raised that you don't hurt books, and to me, writing them in a book hurts it. Now, I get it. You have a textbook, you highlight parts of it as part of your learning. This isn't a textbook. You don't write in books. And even when I was in school, I didn't highlight my books. I didn't write in them. I took notes. That's what notes are for. And in my notes, I would put in the page and paragraph number so that way I could go back to that book and find what I was referencing. I didn't write in the book. So yeah, if you are unbothered by people writing in books that you're trying to read, not a problem. A friend of mine actually works at the library where I bought this, and she said when people donate books, they look through them, and if there's any writing in them, they do not sell them. This one slipped through, and she was very apologetic, and I had to tell her, no, there's no reason to apologize. You guys do a lot. They're volunteers, and they're going through a lot of books before each sale. One is bound to slip through. But I'm frustrated and angry that somebody would do this to a book. And I'm frustrated and angry because I really wanted this book. And I mean, it shows how much I wanted it that I'd put it in my bag and bought it without even looking at it. I saw the title and went, oh my God, it's Scott Kelly. And I bought it. So, yeah. On a side note, though, this is how far I've gotten. I think it's page 114 or something like that. Yeah, I've got a bookmark, and I have the page number memorized. I'm one of those people that if I don't use a bookmark, I still know where I am because I look at the page number before I close it. I've always done that. I had a friend, I loaned a book to her once, and she dog-eared. I'm not actually going to do it because even though this book has been written in, I can't bring myself to do it. Yeah. Yeah, 114. Dog-eared is when they take, okay, let's see if I can get a hold of the page, and they fold it over and crease it and close the book. She did that. I called her out for it, and she went, well, how else am I supposed to remember what page I'm on? Seriously? Page numbers. That's what they're for. She didn't like me saying that. I said, okay, I just won't be loaning you any more books if you can't stop yourself from doing that. That made her so angry, and I just couldn't understand why, because she was the one that damaged the book, not me. But anyway, so yeah, to me, books are precious. You don't hurt them. And we could get into the whole books being precious so you don't burn them either. But I think most people know that. I don't think I need to get on a soapbox about it. So, that is the 4th book, yeah, that I talked about today. 2, 3, 4. Oh, shoot. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry about that. I hope to have the phone camera situation better next time, because right now I've got it balanced on top of my desk lamp, which is on top of my footrest that goes under the desk in order to get enough distance, and it still isn't enough, obviously. So I don't think I'll talk about 3 books every time. Get the length of the videos a lot shorter, because right now we're at 21 minutes, and I think 5 to 10 minutes is really where I want to be. 1 video a week maybe, to coincide with what a normal person, 1 book a week. I may be assuming 1 book a week is normal. I'm sorry, but I will try for that. And then next time I will also talk about a challenge, a reading challenge that I'm going to participate in starting January. It's the I'll give you a brief. The challenge is to read 1 book per state with the setting of the book in that state for and do the whole United States in a year. That's only 50 books. It's a little less than 1 book a week. Easily doable. At my reading speed that I'm at now, I know I could include the territories. So I'm going to do 66 books in a year next year, but they will all be books that are either set in a state or a U.S. territory. So until next time, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll get my kinks hammered out before the next one. Bye.